If you look back on the process of creating the album, what sticks out the most for you? I mean, obviously it's a very good constellation as we have established, but what have you maybe also learned during this process as an artist?
Well, we worked with a new producer who was great,
Mike,
really
right?
great producer, yeah. And he was instrumental in capturing the band's energy and also pushing the band to really go for it. And
he's produced a lot of stuff.
yeah, I'd never heard of him. I sort of found out about him through Alter Bridge, which is Miles' band. And so his, last Alter Bridge record sounded really good. So anyway, but other than that, I mean, you making a record is every time you go in, it's a little bit of a different experience. It's no two sessions are the same. I can't think of any specific things that I learned on this particular session. I mean, we did the guitars and the vocals in Florida and lived in Florida for a month. So that was an interesting experience. It was a really good, fun session.
Was it a different work in there than maybe in LA at the energy?
Well, yeah, because when you're not in the studio, you're just in a completely different environment, and Orlando, Florida, is completely different environment as it gets. Yeah.
What did you like about it?
It's basically all theme parks, so it's very touristy and and we
did
were.
Did you go to any theme parks?
No, but I didn't have time, but. I think that's what you really should do when you're there, because if you don't, there's nothing else to do.
You had no time at all?
Well, not enough time for me to go by myself to a theme park, okay? I'm not going to go to Disneyland by myself.
Of course, but what do you do when you want to relax a bit? You just chill at home, or do you go out as well?
I don't go out.
I'm
not a big outgoing person. When I'm not working, which is very rare, I just hang at home with the kids.
I imagine it's really complicated not getting a.
It's a little bit of a drag going out. I mean,
people recognize you
during the day. Sometimes, I have lunch meetings and this, and that, and the other. But not lunch meetings, but whatever you call them, meetings during the day.
Right.
And we'll go hang out somewhere, and that's usually okay. But in Los Angeles at night, it's a little bit of a scene, and I'm pretty much a homebody.
So you keep yourself to yourself and to your family.
Yeah.
I guess. Okay. Well, makes sense. Have you? But I imagine you have not always been like that. Maybe in the
I've
earlier
always been
days?
like that.
Always been like that?
I mean, the only time I wasn't like that was when I had nowhere to live.
Yeah, so you had to go.
Yeah, so I had to comb the scene looking for somebody who would put me up for the night or whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you think back to this time a lot or not at all?
No.
Not really? I think you have a very special kind of upbringing. I mean, with your mom and your father and the family history, and you moving to LA, originally being born in London and whatnot. I mean, I imagine if I would be in your place, if you look back, it's kind of things turned out like the best they could have, I suppose. You're on top of your game right now.
As far as as far as being a musician is concerned and doing what it is I like to do, for the most part, things have turned out all right. Yeah.
It's a huge gift. You can travel the world. Tour with those musicians you want to.
And play, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
I have absolutely no complaints.
There's a gig or some gigs with Aerosmith coming up as well, right?
This summer, yeah.
Summer.
July, we're touring in the U.S.
That was one of your huge inspirations back in the days.
Yeah.
When you ditched that girl for her
Oh,
for
you
her
know
music.
about
Yeah, I read that story and I like it.
Yeah, I mean that was. I would say they were the catalyst for when I picked up the guitar, the sort of musical direction that I went in, and then we toured with them with Guns N' Roses back in the late '80s,
Right.
and that was a great experience. And I've been friends with them, like good friends with them ever since. And so they're sort of like family,
Yeah.
And it's going to be a lot of fun to sort of reconnect with them and go do sort of a hard rock tour, unlike anything that's going on right now. So.
What's it called? Let rock rule.
Let rock rule.
Let rock rule. And what's the concept of it? Tell us.
That's basically it.
Straightforward.
Yeah,
rock
it's
and roll.
it's sort of self-explanatory. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'll take that. Have you not met anyone who was a childhood hero of yours yet? I mean, As Slash, you probably know
I've pretty much,
everyone in the music business.
I think, met everybody that I was really influenced by that's still living.
Yeah,
Yeah.
of course. Next to Aerosmith, who would that be?
Oh, it was Jimmy Page and Jeff Beck and Joe Walsh and Billy Gibbons, Pete Townsend, Keith Richards, Mick Taylor. I actually don't really know Mick Taylor. I think we've met in passing. But anyway, Ronnie Wood, who I'm good friends with, B.B. King. Albert King's no longer with us, so I never got to meet him. I did get to meet Keith Moon, though, who was a hero of mine since I was a little guy, and I was fortunate enough to meet him. So I have an endless list of people: Rick Nielsen, Angus Young, Malcolm Young, all those guys.
And you have catapulted yourself amongst these people. You're a guitar hero.
I wouldn't call it catapulting. It's more like, very gradual climb up there.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. But I mean, I'd say probably by the mid-90s, you were a household name.
You think? I household name, that's a broad statement. But yeah, I mean, from it's, anyway.
It's all good. Sometimes artists don't like to talk about their own success.
Yeah.
It's funny somehow. You haven't gotten used to it?
No, I think success is something that it's more about a feeling, in a show, or a feeling in the studio, or that kind of thing. So I don't look at it from the point of view that other people might look at it from. It's not about money. It's not about achieving any kind of material status, and it tends to be very superficial from the outside. Right. So really success is like how enthusiastic people are at a show.
You just do your thing.
Yeah,
People tend to like it,
or you hope they like it.